All right, I think we are recording now. Welcome, week 10, everybody, to our course. I am not Clint. I am logged in Clint's room. We trying to decide if we should just use his room or try to send links out to my room. We figured it'd be less hassle just to have me be Clint today. He is driving back from Salt Lake. He spent a couple days up north at a USAP meeting. I believe yesterday and today he was somewhere else. So he is between Salt Lake and Beaver right now, probably. So that's where Clint is. So he sends apologies for not being here, but I'm sure he will get this wonderful recording today and put it on YouTube as soon as he returns to office tomorrow. So welcome, Becky. We will go ahead and get going here. Let me share my screen. Thinking. All right. So week 10 is where we are. I believe it's week 10 already. That's crazy. Just like yesterday we started, right? All right. First off, how are things going? Any questions, concerns, any stories from school or good jokes you have? Anybody? No news is good news, right? So I just want to say thank you. I know on my part, trying to get caught up on my grading. I'm up to week 8. There's a lot of good comments going on, good discussions with each other. I know Clint expressed that last week, but it's great though, having the resources with each other. So keep it up and know that these courses, these UEN courses, will be available after the course ends. So if someone said something or put a link or shared something, you can always refer back to this course at any time to look at any resources that we put on the course or that others have expressed on the course. So keep that in mind. Since it is 8 weeks, or excuse me, 10 weeks into the course, we are winding down. Just so you are aware, UEN gives us 1 week after the course is completed to get all the grades to them. We realize in a week's time after, some may not have everything completed. They said they want in that time, and then if people have things they need to complete after, they have up to 30 days to complete their stuff and then do a change of grade type thing. So say this to not get too far behind, especially with the holidays coming up. Life gets really crazy. Personal life, school life, things get really crazy. So try to stay up as much as you can, up to date with the assignments and the discussions. If you are missing things, try to get those in. I know for me, looking at week 6 and 7, there was a lot of people who had submitted things, but I couldn't open them, the files, or there was a part missing on the assignment, so they're not graded. So please go back and look at all your assignments, your posts. If something is not graded, I try to comment why it's not graded, what you're missing. Go back and try to put things in that you need to on those assignments and discussion posts. If you have any issues or going to be late on things, please continue to communicate with us on that so we can know where you are and know that that you're breathing still. And please keep breathing. This week, we are looking at differentiated instruction. And what is that? It is how a teacher modifies teaching to each individual student. That's what it is. So the chapters go in. There's 2 readings this week, 2 assigned readings, and the supplemental readings. Gets into more details about what it is and give some examples. But some things that I got out of the readings, a teacher must take into account who they are teaching, not just what they are teaching. So look at your ESL students, minority students, special education students, some of your gifted students. It talks a little bit how sometimes those students who are not challenged, and we need to try to challenge them throughout the year because they need that also. Next week, week 11, be a lot with the ESL population with the PSYOP model. So we'll do a lot of that next week with that. Um, in the differentiated instruction, a teacher needs to be proficient in understanding students as individuals, not just a number, not just someone in the room, but who they are. This creates a challenge, especially in secondary education, where you have many students, not just your students in your classroom all day, but you have 5 periods that you need to try to figure out who the kids are and who they are and how they learn, and it can cause some problems and some challenges. So if you've solved that for everybody, how you handle that, please put that in your discussion post, or how we can learn from you in your masterful ways. Also, a teacher needs to be comfortable with your discipline. So know the content of what you're teaching and what you're supposed to be teaching. And I think the most important thing is being flexible, having the flexibility in if you have to modify different workloads or assignments or different things, just having that ability to do that. So you're not so set in your ways that you cannot change a little bit for certain students. The reading goes in to some traits that teachers need to address with their students: readiness, their interest, profile, and the effect. So again, these are things that I pull out of the reading that I felt were valuable. An example of different instruction is this one right here. Is a spelling assessment, pre-assessment in 6th grade. You see that your students range in ability from 2nd grade beyond high school. And for sure, you're not going to go give the same test to each of those students each week, because it's not going to challenge some students, and some students it's going to be too challenging for them. So how the teacher modified the instruction is using the procedure that involves all students in the spelling at the same time, but on their own levels. So yes, multiple spelling tests may be given, but it tries to get the needs of all students. There's a great graphic in the reading, the COGS differentiation, that what the student seeks, how the teacher responds, and the curriculum is all interrelated and interdependent. All three go around together. So you need to have not just the student and the teacher, but your whole environment, classroom environment, and your instruction all work together in the learning process. So, and looking at different instruction and understanding by design, they go hand in hand. They are in need of one another, as the reading puts it. They provide the structures and tools and guidance to help develop your curriculum and help in the learning process. So yeah, we're talking about understanding by design and different instruction, but they do go together. So your assignments for this week are this. So looking at your lessons that you have created with your desired results and your evidences, you'll design or come up with 2 digital learning experiences in differentiated instruction using some sort of technology tool. There's some resources with the assignment. Or on the assignment page, there's 4 or 5 resource links that you can use to help with that. Each one, a Google Doc, using a Google Doc to work back and forth with students, a collaboration type thing. That's using technology. So a lot of the schools, especially my North Sound Peach schools, are one-to-one. So the iPad, different apps you can use, different things that way. So you will 2 evidence learning times that your students will do. Then in your discussion, state the biggest barrier that you have differentiating instruction and what you have done to overcome this challenge. We've all experienced this one way or another. It's not new for teachers. It's something that's always been there, and most do well at it. And have a great week. Have a great week in not just your studying and your readings and having fun in this class, but in life in general, and what you do with at school and personally, and just good times that way. And I'm supposed to give a shout out to Slide Carnival. I used a template from Slide Carnival, as Clint did last week in this presentation. If you haven't tried Slide Carnival, it's pretty nifty. It's pretty fun. All they ask is you state that got your slides from them. So that's where I got that. There's a link. I've had a couple people contact me about the template that they're using. The Google Doc one, I think, is a little cleaner. If you go to week 12 in the module, there's a link there to this also. If you haven't been using this or create your own, you don't have to use these templates. So they are there. And in here, you will dump in your 2 experiences, experience number 1, experience number 2, and differentiation. So just the activity that you're going to have your students do in your unit or in your 3 weeks of your course. So that's where you're going to, in the final thing, put those right there. You can send just a link to us or in a document form or any way you want to send us that for your assignments. So any questions on this week that anyone has? I explained it that well? Yeah, it's great. So again, keep up the good work. We are winding down. Look back at your Canvas grade, see if you're missing anything by chance, and try to get things caught up. Because we need to have everything completed before you can get the grade to UEN. The grade is just pass-fail, so don't worry about, oh, I'm missing this and have half the credit here. It's pass-fail. We just give it all to UEN as you pass the course, and they submit that to SUU or to USBE. So no questions?
So these are just the experiences from what we turned in this last week, right? The first.
Yeah, you're just looking at, yeah, you could have done that already within your unit plan, within your plan, or maybe something new you want to add in with that. So some have already built that in already. Just link it right there, and that works out great. So again, we don't want this to be looking at new things to create more work for you, but if you're doing stuff already in your class, you need to modify a little bit. Want it to be worthwhile in what you are doing and what you need to do in your profession. So that's.
Hey, Clint here, just a quick addition to that question. So last week, those 8 learning experiences that you created, those were like traditional, not necessarily technology-based activities that you're going to do with your students for the unit. This week, these are 2 technology-enhanced or technology-based activities. Plus, you need to also discuss how you can differentiate these activities for students with your different student groups in your class. So they're not just a restating of what you did last week, unless you already had 2 digital differentiated resources or activities, more than your 8 that you had last week. And then on grading, Brandon has his scores just as not graded. I've been putting in zeros into my grade book. And so please, if you have any zeros in your grades, go back, take a look. I've always included an explanation of why I gave you a 0, because again, it's either pass fail, it's either complete or incomplete. So if you're missing part of the assignment, for me, I've just given it a 0. So please go back, take a look, and reach out. Let me know if you have any questions. I know I've not been great. Last week or 2, I've been all over the place. But I will be around the next few weeks. So as we finish up and finalize, I don't want anybody to fail this class. So if you do have a 0, I'm not sure why, reach out, let me know, and we'll get you going.
So that's all I have prepared. Anyone have anything else you want to pipe in and contribute? Corby's going to make turkeys for everybody for Thanksgiving, 3D turkeys. So that'd be great, Corby. Thank you.
All right.
Rob's going to the beach on sunset. That looks nice, Rob. So if that's all I have a great week and keep doing what you're doing and fight the good fight. And we'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you. Will do.